So it's the start of April now, and we've made quite a lot of progress here on site. I'm stood at the end of what will be the front street in the new 50s town. The rest of the site just on the other side of this fence. Very busy today as we're starting to see the holidays. And what you can see to my side here is the foundations for the terrace that will be built over the coming months. So building by building here, we've got a little shop here that's copied from a building in Middlesbrough. We've got Norman Cornish's house, and then we've got Johnny's Cafe from Wingate and the fish and chip shop that we're recreating. These are all just the foundations at the moment. We've not started any of the later works. It's a very strange optical illusion. These buildings look absolutely tiny at the moment. It's a big surprise for people when they come on site and see just how small they look, but I assure everyone they will be big enough for our needs. You can see the posts here where the drainage comes through, so this is the early stages, but it's interesting to see the foundations and start to see how the building will be put together. And then in due course, over the next few weeks, this road will be built in and the pavements started around the side of the site as well. So on the other side of the road from the terrace here, you can see these markings where the pavement's about to go in. And then this space is where the cinema from Ryop will go. So a little bit later in our programme, we've still got to dismantle the building from Ryop, but you can see the space waiting for it here, and the development of the pit heap behind it. So this was a plan we came up with quite early in the programme, so we didn't have to take all the earth that we're digging out on site. We thought if we pile it up in one spot on site, we could actually recreate a feature of 50s towns, which is a pit heap, to be planted with the sort of Scots pine that a pit heap traditionally would have been. And that just adds a bit of character to the town and solves a bit of a problem for us in terms of where we shift the earth. So this is one of the more modern interventions in the 1950s town, and perhaps something visitors wouldn't expect us to use, and something that they'll never see. This is part of the insulated pipe network for our district heating system. So what you have here is essentially two pipes that will carry hot water around the site from the biomass heating system and deliver it to the buildings. And it has this layer of insulation around it to make sure you're not losing temperature as you travel. So there are meters and meters of this type of piping buried under the whole site for us to be able to deliver hot water around the site. And this is part of how we can make the site more environmentally sustainable and economical. By having one large boiler that delivers this hot water, it's much cheaper for us to deliver the hot water for the site, and much more environmentally friendly. We can grow the trees on site, chop them down, chip them to deliver the fuel for the biomass system, and it's one of the ways that we can really improve what Beamish is offering for the environment. So one of the signs that we're shifting towards the end of this phase of works is that now we're building in the roads that will be here as part of the 1950s town, rather than just relying on site access roads. And the difference there is the site access roads had to give us a clear circulation route for heavy vehicles moving around the 50s town while we were doing all this groundwork. But now these are the roads that will be there when visitors come and explore the site in the coming years. So this road will be concrete topped, 50s roads, some of them were concrete topped, and this is the sort of residential area of the site. You'll have the semi-detached houses and the police houses here, and the prefab airy houses just on the other side here. So this is one of the first signs of this part of the site really starting to take shape. So the community centre site here has obviously come on a bit since we last showed you what it looked like. On top of the strip foundations, we've now got the concrete slab, and these gentlemen are putting in some of the sort of low-level masonry that really just gives a footing for the timber frame of the building. And you can see the boxes where the sort of connection for the timber frame go in through the sort of main hall of the building. That timber frame is being produced off-site at the moment, and we hope in the next few weeks to see them starting to come on site and install that. So we're in the field where Spainsfield Farm is going to be built, and the work you can see taking place here is the foundations for the farm buildings being dug in. This will take only a few days really, it's not a huge site, and then we'll be able to start reconstructing the site in the stone that you can see stored just opposite here. So the enabling works for the coaching in site are continuing, and the sort of long winter has held things up a bit here. You can see there's still quite a bit of water standing on site, and this is considerably better than it has been for the last few weeks. We're still pumping. We've had to try and control the amount of water on site to be able to get on with the works. This area here is a retaining wall at the back of the site that allows us to sort of build against the bank here without losing too much ground at the side of the site here. And the current progress, we've finished the vibro compaction, the piles that will hold the coaching in, and so works are continuing now, the rest of the strip foundations, and you can see some of the sort of reinforcing mesh here.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Joe the Quilters. We've now got the beginning of April. We've had some bad weather to say the least, but we've pushed on and we're now at peak height. This is the fore gable. Joe the Quilter's bedroom will be inside here. As you come along, this is his roof. This is his window for his bedroom, which is being made by Sean and them. So that goes in now. We've now got to go up. You can see the line of the peak there now. That's the top of our stonework. After we get to that, which is just a small section now, Tony will be putting more purlins in and continuing with the roof construction. So it all ties into this gable as it does the other gable, but obviously you've got the fireplace in the other gable. So here we go again. We'll walk around here and you can see the fantastic wall plate Tony's done here, which is basically half a tree, oak tree obviously. He split that in two, the other one's on the other side. The spars come down now from the top rafter to the purlin and down to here. They space themselves out, which is what the turf and the roof sits on. Obviously we have another purlin to go into this wall, purlin to go into that wall. This here is the floor of Joe's bedroom, a mezzanine floor. So that's in now, that's built into the wall. So he will have a view pretty similar to what we have with the scaffold. Slightly further down, but his view will be up the valley there. The construction of this has been I've quite enjoyed watching it actually. It's all pegged, hammered and pegged, steady as a rock. It looks good, looks rough and ready, which is what it should be like. What we have to do now is I have to get this one finished. Then I'm now forming this gable to get up to this height for him to put his purlins. His purlins go on pretty much into the wall, so they'll sit on that one and go into the wall. You sit on the lintels that go across there, yet again giving you the roof line. I do believe Tony's coming in tomorrow to start the rafters, which you can see under this cover here, which I shall take off and show you. Yet again, rough, ready and split, ready for use. Lovely bit of timber. As it would have been and as it should be. So that's pretty the stage we're up at the moment. There's more stone coming in tomorrow, hopefully, possibly Friday. Another 10 tonne of stone, which will take us over 110 it'll take us to of stone that's come down from Rothbury. Pretty much it's all being used. We've got the brick fireplace obviously under construction now, which you can't see, it's covered because of the weather. So I'll be on that for the rest of the week. So it should get that peak up, then the scaffold gets lifted again, roof gets constructed, and we can finally get the biggest part of the building done.